It was a quiet night in a suburban neighborhood. Families were sleeping, oblivious to the fact that in one house on Oak Ridge Drive, a horror was taking place. At 2:14 a.m., the quiet was broken by a desperate 911 call. A terrified young woman's voice shook with fear as she whispered, "Please, send someone. There's blood all over. I think I killed him." When police arrived, they discovered a man on the kitchen floor, not moving. Blood had accumulated around him, dripping onto the white tiles. His dead eyes looked at the ceiling. Over him stood his stepdaughter. Her hands were smeared with his blood. Tears poured down her face. Her whole body was trembling. It looked at first like a case cut and dried. A stepdaughter had snapped at last after years of family tension in a final, brutal moment. But as investigators investigated, they learned a conspiracy of betrayal, fixation, and seedy secrets transformed this into an act far more evil. Because the truth? This wasn't all about rage. It was about an affair, a betrayal, and a fatal scheme that would upend everything. For years, the Harringtons appeared picture-perfect. Michael Harrington, 46 years old, a good businessman, loving stepfather. Linda Harrington, 42, devoted wife, devoted mother. Chloe Evans, 19, Linda's daughter from a previous marriage, Michael's stepdaughter. They had the ideal home, the ideal life. But behind the closed doors of their lovely suburban home, everything was disintegrating. Michael and Linda's marriage was breaking down. Arguments became more frequent. Michael spent more nights out. And Chloe? She witnessed it all. She knew something was amiss. What she didn't know was it that her mother and stepfather had a dirty little secret. The affair begins afternoon came early one day when Chloe returned from college. She entered the house and stood stock still. There in the kitchen were her stepdad and another woman, kissing, whispering. And that woman wasn't her mother, her mother's best friend. The hurt was deep. Chloe felt ill. She wanted to flee. But instead, she picked up her phone and pressed record. Chloe had no idea what to do. 4 days, she kept the video a secret. But every time she saw her mother's face, the guilt ate away at her. Finally, she made a choice. She showed the video to her mother. At first, Linda refused to believe it. But when she saw the footage, her world shattered. The confrontation was violent, explosive. Michael denied everything. Then, when he saw the video, his face turned cold. "You don't understand what you've done," he said. Chloe shivered at the chill running up her spine. It wasn't a threat. It was a warning. And she had no clue how bad things were going to get. It was going to be a typical night. Emma had made up her mind. She was ending the affair. She invited Nathan over, saying they needed to talk. But what she didn't know, David was home early. And when he entered the house, he found his wife and his best friend together. The room fell silent. Then, an eruption of fury. David attacked Nathan, fists flailing. Nathan returned the blows, screaming, shattering glass, breaking furniture. Emma attempted to intervene, but the violence was unstoppable. And then, a gunshot. And instantly, one of them was dead. 2 nights later, Chloe was in her bedroom when she heard a crash from downstairs. Then, screaming, she rushed into the kitchen and saw her mother lying on the floor. Michael towered over her, his face contorted with fury. "You destroyed everything," he yelled. Linda was shaking, crying. Chloe's heart was racing. And then, Michael turned to her. His eyes were crazy, angry. "This is your fault," he screamed. And then he reached for something. A knife. Without hesitation, Chloe pulled the gun from the kitchen drawer. Michael attacked her. She fired the gun. The sound of the gunshot echoed through the house. Michael fell backward. Then he fell to the ground. Blood covered his chest. And like that, he was dead. When police came, Chloe was out of control. She told them everything. She had defended herself. But as detectives reconstructed the tale, they discovered a twist nobody could have anticipated. Linda had known about the affair the whole time. She was going to leave Michael. And Chloe's video? It wasn't an accident. It was proof Linda needed to take it all from him. Police discovered texts on Linda's phone. Messages to a divorce attorney. plans to drain the bank account. And the night of the murder, Linda had goaded Michael intentionally. She knew precisely what she was doing, and when things got out of hand, she let Chloe pull the trigger. Chloe had believed she was defending her mother, but in truth, she had been manipulated. Chloe was arrested for manslaughter. She served 3 years in prison. Linda? She was released scot-free. But her idyllic life was ruined. Michael was dead. Chloe never forgave her. And ultimately, no one emerged victorious. Because when secrets, lies, and betrayal intersect, there's only one ending. And it's never a happy one.